हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् ॐ गणानाहं त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ श्रीशङ्कराचार्यस्वामिने नमः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावदीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्।
नमस्ते महोदय। शीला शिंदे भगिनी।
नियन्तं संगरहितम् अरागद्वेषतकृतम् अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते।
First line again.
नियतं संगरहितम् अरागद्वेषतकृतम् अफल ओके थैंक यू।
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय।
Yes, sir. यतु कामेप्सु न कर्म साहंकारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं तत्राजसमुदाहृतम्।
Good.
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर भगिनी।
यत्तु अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनपेक्ष्य च पौरुषं मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते।
The correction is anavekshya. Okay. Anavekshya, not pekshya. Wait, yeah.
Okay, sir. I think in my okay, sir. Because in my book it is anapeksha, so I've written. Okay, I'll correct it, sir.
It's anavekshya only. Let me check up in another book also. I think vekshya means seen. So anavekshya, let me just quickly cross check it. 25. It's only vekshya.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I'll correct it.
Yeah. Next.
शरद चवन महोदय।
मुक्तसङ्गोऽहमत्वादिं धृत्यसुत्साहनं समन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्धि यो निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विकम् उच्यते।
Good.
काश्मीरा भगिनी।
Same shloka again, please. One more person. Kashmira Bhagini.
मुक्तसङ्गो न भौवादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यो निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते।
शारदा राजन भगिनी।
रागी कर्म फल प्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्ष शोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः।
लक्ष्मी भगिनी।
अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः शतो नैष्कृतिको लसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते।
Second line again, please.
Yes, sir. विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते।
Good.
ललिता भगिनी।
बुद्धिर्वेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय.
Good.
Krishna
So, new sloka about it.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
Pravrutincha nivrittincha.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
Pravrutincha nivrit. Yeah.
I think network issue. Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च
कार्याकार्ये भयाभये.
कार्याकार्ये भयाभये कार्याकार्ये भयाभये
प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये.
प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये.
Good. Next.
Vijay Lakshmi Bhagini.
बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति.
बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini. Oh, sir, I just called.
प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. Next.
Veena Fani Shri Bhagini.
निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
One more person.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
प्रवृत्तिञ्च निवृत्तिञ्च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. So this, as we discussed, this 18th chapter is only summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Now, we all know that the Purusharthas, the purpose of having this particular body, we have to understand it. It will all fall into 4 Purusharthas only what we can pursue. 4 goals can be pursued. One is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Right? These are the things that we discuss also. 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. This Bhagavad Gita and all Upanishads that is providing the self-knowledge, which is going to be helpful in terms of realization or getting into moksha. So if you look at the entire Bhagavad Gita, whatever we are studying, we are on a spiritual journey to understand ourselves, which will help us to come out of the cycle of samsara and get liberated. Okay. So for that, Bhagavan has in the initial chapters, he has talked about karma yoga. And then he started talking about jnana yoga. So in the first, if you look at this particular chapter also, initially Bhagavan gave a summary of the karma yoga. What is the purpose of karma yoga? The purpose of karma yoga is to understand what is the kind of activities that we do, and what kind of activities that you do is going to help you in terms of your Atta Karana Chutti. So primarily karma yoga was for people like all of us who are all in a kind of vyavaharika, the grahasthas, we are living in a kind of worldly life, and we have to have a anta karana chutti. Then only we will be able to have the capability of understanding the jnana of spirituality or jnana of understanding oneself. So karma yoga was emphasizing in terms of primarily focusing for anta karana chutti, or working on the mind in terms of removing all kinds of unwanted things. It's called mala nivrutti. So karma yoga was removing all the kinds of dirt that we have in the mind. Only when you clean it up, we are able to have absorbed the knowledge. So then, if you look at it from the perspective of what is the kind of activities that we all do only two different activities. One is the thing of knowing, the other is in terms of doing. So knowing is called jnanam, doing is called karma. So primarily we are now talking about karma yoga for antakarana chutti. Once the antakarana chutti is there, or it is a continuous process. It is not that today I do antakarana chutti, my mind is clean. No. Every day you clean it up, every day the house gets dirty, again you have to clean, again it gets dirty. Till such time, it's a very long drawn process. It is not that one day I do meditation, one day I do a good service, my mind is going to become very good. No, it's not possible. So karma yoga is going to continuously ensure that you are going to work on making the mind clean in terms of your thought, in terms of your action, in terms of your words, kayena, vacha, manasa, all those things you have got to ensure that I am going to be a selfless person so that my antakarana is going to be better. I'm going to change over from a kind of sakama karma to nishkama karma. So it's all antakarana chutti. Once antakarana chutti takes place, then you start understanding the scriptures, Vedas and Upanishads. So then we start understanding what is God, what is creation, what is Atma, what is Sula Sarira, all those kinds of things that you understand. And then we also understand that the true nature of us, as per the scriptures, it says that the true nature of us is Atma. The Atma in us is Atma for everybody. So the Aham Brahmasmi. So that is the one that is the ultimate knowledge that one needs to gain. So you have got a Karma Yoga, then you got a Jnana Yoga where you start learning all those kinds of things. Then you also just learning, getting knowledge is not going to make a person realize. A person studies in a book that sodium chloride, so that is what that hydrochloric acid when mixed with sodium hydroxide is going to give sodium chloride plus water. That is chemistry equation. But if he just reads the chemistry equation, he will understand, have a knowledge of that. But when he goes to a chemistry lab, actually takes sodium hydroxide solution, puts hydrochloric acid in that, he will be able to see the sedimentation of salt. That is the aha feeling that he understands. Oh, NaCl plus NaOH, so what is that? HCl plus NaOH is going to give me NaCl plus H2O. So that is the kind of awareness, realization. So knowledge you get, but at the same time, the knowledge is got to be internalized and one has to realize. So for that knowledge, you have to have antakarana, which is karma yoga. Jnanam also is required. Now, how do you ultimately realize yourself? You realize yourself only by your own buddhi. Only when your buddhi, so mind is one thing. Mind is a flow of thoughts. Buddhi is a rational thinking in ourselves. Logical thinking, rational thinking is the buddhi. Only with the help of buddhi, the knowledge that we have learned, we are able to assimilate and we are able to use the buddhi to realize ourselves. So buddhi is going to become extremely important element in terms of the understanding oneself. So Bhagavan felt that a person has to first do antakarana chutti, then he has got to have a knowledge, then he has got to work on his intellect buddhi, then he has to have a resolution that I want to have the atma jnana. So that is called Dhriti. So Bhagavan is now talking about Buddhi, which is very important. And the previous sloka he said, I'll talk to you about Buddhi and dhriti. Dhriti is resolution, because resolution is that I want to get this done. That is the resolution. Okay, I want to have a knowledge of myself. I want to understand my Atma. I will do everything that is going to help me in terms of gaining that. That determination is called dhriti. So only when we have buddhi and dhriti, we will be able to start working towards realization of ourselves. So Bhagavan is now touching upon the topic of buddhi. He has already talked about the topic of jnanam, karma, karta, all those things he has already talked about, which are all the essential elements of this. But now he also feels that buddhi is also very, very important, which one needs to work on. Because only with the buddhi, with a clean mind, with the knowledge, one will be able to realize himself. So this buddhi as well as dhriti, that is the resolve or the resolve that we have, both of them, determination is dhriti, resolve is dhriti. So only when the person is determined with the right kind of buddhi, he'll be able to take it forward in terms of realization. And he said that again, buddhi and resolve, both of them also can be classified under three different categories: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So he is now trying to help us to understand what is sattvic, because only when you take the sattvic gunas related traits, we will be in a position to start understanding ourselves. So he is now going to talk about sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. So sattvic is to know very clearly, to know that these are the things that I need to develop if I am going to be in the process of self-realization. And rajasic and tamasic also will be there in all of us, because it is not that we are all sattvic people. Some point in time, rajasic will take over. Some point of time, tamasic will take over. But we need to be cognizant of what is the rajasic kind of buddhi that is coming into play, or what is tamasic kind of buddhi that is coming into play. How do I start bringing it back? How do I control? That is what is very, very important. You may be remembering the very first initial classes, we talked about the Lord Krishna sitting on the chariot and then having the reins and controlling the horses. Krishna was compared to buddhi. If you look at the chariot at that time, horses were all the senses, the rein was the control, the mind that he was having, and with the buddhi he was controlling it, and Arjuna was compared to the Atman, and the entire chariot was supposed to be compared to the body. So buddhi is the one with which you are controlling everything. Okay. So buddhi becomes extremely important, because if you're not able to have the right kind of buddhi with the right kind of control of the mind and the senses, which can go out of control, then your destination will not be, you want to go somewhere, but the horses will take you somewhere else if you're not able to control the horses with the right kind of buddhi, which Krishna was depicting in that the imagery of 5 horses and the reins and Krishna and Arjuna sitting over there. So buddhi becomes extremely important, and sattvic buddhi is the one that is going to help you in terms of reaching destination. Okay. So now if you look at, now he is telling that Sa partha sattviki buddhihi. Sattviki buddhihi sa partha. The last, second line, last thing. So he said this is what is all called sattvik buddhi. What is that? The sattvic buddhi person, the person who is having a sattvic intellect, he is absolutely clear about what is pravritti and what is nivritti. Okay. What is pravritti? Pravritti is the one which is making us to be getting involved in our day-to-day activities, and we get involved into the world of activities that we are getting involved in. When we are getting involved in world of activities, then what is going to be the outcome of that? Outcome is bandham. When you do a karma, karma leads to bandham, right? So pravritti will lead to bandham. If you look at the second line, you'll find bandham. So if this person understands that if I am going to be only engaged in terms of all these kinds of things, that I'm going to do it for the sake of myself, selfish things, then all those things are only going to make me bound. And then I'll have a janma karma cycle will go on. So when I'm going to be pravritti oriented person, then I'm going to get into a bandham, and bandham is going to be coming in the way of my moksham, right? Whereas nivritti is renunciation. When a person starts renunciating by having understanding of the karma yoga, like knowing jnana yoga, doing nididhyasana, shravanamana nididhyasana, going to a good guru, understanding the concept, samshaya nivritti, all those kinds of things he does, then he is in a position to start getting towards moksha. So nivritti is the one that is going to help him in terms of moksha. Whereas pravritti, engage in the world activity, is going to lead him to bandham. So he knows this particular sattvic person, sattvic intellect knows that when I take pravritti kind of thing, I may get into bondage. When I take nivritti kind of a thing, I may get into the moksham. So he is able to have a wonderful understanding of pravritti, what it can lead to, nivritti, what it can lead to. Then he is also talking about karya, akarya. He knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. We are all very clear. So, what is to be done? Karmanya karmaya pashed. We have studied that in the third chapter itself. The person is able to understand what is karma, what is akarma, what is vikarma. So a karma yogi has to understand what is the real karma, what is not doing the right kind of responsibility is akarma. Then vikarma is doing ulta pulta. So karma, akarma, vikarma, everything they have to understand, and they have to understand it with the eye of the sastra knowledge. So karya and akarya, he is able to have a very clear distinction to understand what is karyam and what is akaryam. And karyam, the kind of thing that we do, it may be a good thing, but we have to also understand desha kala is also important. We have to ensure that we may be doing a correct thing, but if it is done at the wrong place at the wrong time, also it is become akaryam. One example I can tell you is that Puri Jagannath, we have got this Ratha Yatra. So Ratha Yatra is in 15th of September, okay? And the election commission decided, and we know that Puri Ratha Yatra, the entire community at Puri is going to come and do Ratha Yatra. And that is a very important thing, and the entire city participate in that. A lot of people from all over the world also go and participate in the Rath Yatra. So they know that people are not available that day or few days this way, that way, from that particular Rath Yatra time, because they are all engaged only in the Rath Yatra celebration. They know that they will not be available. But if election commission, if you look at it, they have also got responsibility. They have to do a karyam of fixing the election for various kinds of states, because democratic processes demand that the election has got to be conducted. So that is also important karyam. But if the election commissioner of Orissa decides to have the election at Puri on the 15th when Ratha Yatra is there, it becomes akaryam. So one has to understand what is karyam, what is akaryam. So it might be a karyam, but if it is done at the improper time, it becomes akaryam. Like the way we also talked about dhanam. What is the right dhanam, what is the wrong dhanam? Dhanam is if you are going to give to the right needed person at the right time is dhanam. Giving a rug to a Chennai person at 40 degrees temperature and giving a shawl to him is not the right kind of dhanam. So we have to understand desha kala patrebhya. Similarly, karyam also, a good karyam, if it is delivered in the wrong time, wrong place also is bad. So the person with sattvic buddhi has got this understanding. So he knows what is pravrti, he knows what is nivritti, he knows what is karyam, what is akaryam, and when it is karyam, he knows what is dharma karyam that he has got to do. Diyatam kudu karmatvam, he knows what all diyata karyam. He is very clear about this thing. And then he also has got a very good understanding of what is bhaya and what is abhaya. What is bhaya? Bhaya is primarily insecurity. We are always insecure of what is going to happen tomorrow. It's all driven by our past things, past vasanas, and we have got insecure feeling that we have is a bhaya. Whereas, if you look at Arjuna also in the 11th chapter, when he was looking at Bhagavan, in Vishwarupa Darshana, Arjuna looked at Bhagavan as someone different than him. He could see everybody in Bhagavan's mouth. He could see Drona, he could see Karna, he could see everybody, Yoga Veera, and everybody he was seeing in the mouth of Bhagavan. And he could see that, Bhagavan is the person in whom everybody is there. He could see the substratum of everybody is Bhagavan. But he was not able to see himself in that. And he felt that that was different and he is different. And that led to a bhaya. Okay. Whereas if he has understood that I am also the part of that, I am also a part of the Brahman, the substratum for that and substratum for me is same, then there's no bhaya. So that is the knowledge. So once the knowledge is there, abhayam. When there's no knowledge, bhayam. So this person with the sattvic buddhi has a very clear understanding of what is bhayam and what is abhayam and what is bandham, which is the one that is going to create bandham or bondage, which is going to lead to repeated repetition of lives, or which is the one that is going to lead him for the liberation. So Yaveti, the one who understands all these kinds of things, who has got a very clear discriminative mind, that particular intellect that he has developed, that intellectual person, that intellect is called Sattvika Buddhi. Pravrittincha, Nivrittincha, Karya, Karye, Bhaya, Bhaye, Bandham, Moksham, Cha Yaveti, Buddhihi, Sa Partha Sattviki. So that is the person, because buddhi is extremely important in terms of the spiritual journey. After we have done karma yoga, jnana yoga, and nididhyasana to prepare the buddhi for the next stage of realization. Okay, so this is the Buddhi of Satvik. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yaya dharmamadharmancha.
यया धर्ममधर्मञ्च यया धर्ममधर्मञ्च
Karyancha karyamev cha.
कार्यञ्च कार्यमेव च कार्यञ्च कार्यमेव च
Yaya dharmamadharmancha. Karyancha karyamev cha.
यया धर्ममधर्मञ्च कार्यञ्च कार्यमेव च यया धर्ममधर्मञ्च कार्यञ्च कार्यमेव च.
Good. Next.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
Ayatavat prajaniti. Ayatavat prajanati.
अयतावत् प्रजानाति अयतावत् प्रजानाति
Buddhissa partha rajasi.
बुद्धिस्सा पार्थ राजसी बुद्धिस्सा पार्थ राजसी
Ayatavat prajanati. Buddhissa partha rajasi.
अयतावत् प्रजानाति दिस्सा पार्थ राजसी अयतावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिस्सा पार्थ राजसी.
Good.
Vijaya Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yaya dharmamadharmancha. Karyancha karyameva cha. Ayathavat prajanati. Buddhissa partha rajasi.
यया धर्ममधर्मञ्च कार्यञ्च कार्यमेव च अयदावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी.
Good.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
Full sloka once.
यया धर्ममधर्मञ्च कार्यञ्च कार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी.
Good. Next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
यया धर्ममधर्मञ्च कार्यञ्च कार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ राजसी.
Good. So in the previous sloka, we found that the individual who is having a sattvic buddhi was having absolute clarity in terms of what is dharmam, adharmam, what is karyam, what is akaryam, what is going to lead to moksha, what is going to lead to bandham, and what is pravritti, what is nivritti, all those kinds of things he had a very good understanding. Now there is a sattvic person. If a person who has got absolutely zero understanding or totally confused or wrong understanding, then he goes to the other side of the scale, he becomes tamasic. Okay. And this person that we are talking about now, Rajasic, he is now in between. In between means that he knows something. Okay. But he also does not know a lot of things. So he is an in-between kind of thing. Like most of us, we are also still in in-between category only. We are neither fully understanding that, nor we are also tamasic people. So we still have a lot of confusion, whether it's a dharmam or adharmam, whether it is a karyam or akaryam, we still do not know all those things. So when you are in that kind of situation, when we have not fully understood the entire scriptures, ayatavat prajanati means not fully understood or have a wrongful understanding. For whom dharmam, adharmam, karyam, akaryam, all those things, there is a slight level of wrong understanding. So for example, if a question paper is given to these people, a sattvic, the same question paper is given about various aspects of dharmam, adharmam, karya, akaryam, pravritti, nivritti, bandham, moksham. A question paper say, let us assume that it has been prepared and a multi-choice question is given. A sattvic person will be able to score 95% mark in this. This guy, Rajasic person, will get 50 to 60% mark in that. It is not that he is poor, not that he is also in the top class. He is having some amount of understanding, some amount of wrong understanding, all those cases, a mixture. So ayatavat prajanati, sa buddhi rajasi. That particular buddhi is rajasi. Okay. So when you talk about dharmam, dharmam has got 4 elements that we need to understand. Okay, I think we had discussed it earlier because dharmam is coming now. I thought once again I'll talk about that. So one is that our scriptures have told there are certain kinds of practices that we need to have. Some rituals have been told, some kinds of karmas have been told, the karma kanda. So following those kinds of rituals is one of the elements of dharma. Second important thing is that you need to have responsibilities. You have got a responsibility of an individual, responsibility as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a daughter, as a as a social person, as an employee, as an employer. So if you have got a responsibility, so that is also coming under dharmam. So dharmam is what is enjoined in the Vedas is one thing. What is all as a responsibility that you are there, you are not a person alone here. You are having lot of other things that you got in. You got a kind of ecosystem around you, which you have got responsibility to fulfill. That is also another dharmam. Okay, as a responsibilities is the second dharmam. The third one that we need to understand about dharma is our own attitudes. Our attitudes is important thing. How are we behaving in terms of certain kinds of things? So what that is also a kind of dharma. Okay, whether you are getting angry, you are getting irritated, you are getting soft, you are polite in your talking, you are talking the truth only. That is also a part of dharma. So attitudes is the third element, and the fourth element is going to be values. What are the things that you value? That those values that you understood, and the value of values also. Supposing I know truth is important, but I also know that following the truth all the time is very, very important. A rajasic person may know the truth is important, but he will say that at any time if it is going to be beneficial for me, he may also compromise on that, which means that he knows the value, but he does not know the value of value at all the times. So that is the fourth element. So if you have all these 4 elements, like the rituals, and then the responsibilities, the attitude, and then the value, all these things, if you put it in a bucket, that is supposed to be dharma. So this particular person whom we are talking about, he has got, he has understanding of dharma. He can also compromise to some extent on dharma. He knows karyam, what is a karyam, but also if the situation warrants, he is also capable of compromising on that. And ayatavat prajanati, that is, there is some amount of wrong understanding, and secondly, he is not able to fully follow it up. So that kind of intellect that person is having is supposed to be a rajasic buddhi. Okay, rajasi buddhi. Okay. So if you look at that way, all these 3 things, you may have to put it on a scale. On one scale, it is this end of a kind of, you can take it as a jnani, put it on a sattvic scale, put a kind of total ajnani in the kind of tamasic scale, and in between, we can take all of us who are coming in between now, and we are all coming under rajasic kind of a scale. And we have to understand that from rajasic, we have to migrate into tamasic by understanding the value that we are lacking vis-a-vis the value that needs to be pursued to becoming sattvic, and then work on that, which is a kind of a spiritual exercise, abhyasa, which Bhagavan is going to talk also in the subsequent slokas. Okay. Yaya dharmama dharmancha karyancha karyamevacha ayata avat prajanati buddhisa partha rajasi. Next. Next, please. Mantra Beni.
Sorry, I'm in mute, sir.
Okay.
Lakshmi Bagini.
Adharman dharmamitiya.
Adharman dharmamitiya. Adharman dharmamitiya.
Manyate tamasavruta.
Manyate tamasavruta. Manyate tamasavruta.
Adharman dharmamitiya. Manyate tamasavruta.
Adharman dharmamitiya. Manyate tamasavruta. Adharman dharmamitiya. Manyate tamasavruta.
Good. Next.
Veena Fanishri Bagini.
Sarvartan viparitancha.
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च
बुद्धिसा पार्थ तामसी.
बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिसा पार्थ तामसी.
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी.
Good. Next.
शरत् चवन् महोदय.
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी.
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिसा पार्थ तामसी.
Sarvarthan, not sarvarthan, sarvarthan viparitamasya. Okay.
Okay, shall I say it again?
Okay.
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिसा
Sarva artha viparitan. Viparitan is ulta pulta. Sarva artha means all.
Okay. सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिसा पार्थ तामसी.
Again, you missed that sarvarthan. You said sarvarthan. You can keep a note of that. Okay.
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च
No, it is
सर्वार्थान्
vipariतांश्च.
सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिसा पार्थ तामसी.
Okay, good. Next.
शारदा राजन् भगिनी.
Full shloka, please, slowly.
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी.
Good. One more person.
काश्मीरा भगिनी.
अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धिः सा पार्थ तामसी.
Okay, so in this sloka, Bhagavan is talking about the tamasic intellect. Okay, so in the case of tamasic intellect, tamasa avruta, the ignorance is becoming a cover for many things that he has got to know. Okay, avruta means veiled. So what happened is, this fellow is that he does not have an understanding of the scriptures, etc. Because of his ignorance, everything is hidden for him. What is dharmam, he does not know. What is adharmam, he does not know. Everything, he has got his own understanding. And most of them, he has got a wrong understanding also. Viparitam cha sarvartan. All those things that he has got a viparita understanding also. So those kinds of people are classified into tamasic kind of people. Samasic type of intellect, tamasic buddhi. For example, these people feel, no, if you have to tell lie, you will tell lie. Nahi chalta hai sir, aap aise hi bolna padega. Okay, that's what they'll say. Then when they are standing in the light, he'll say, he'll jump the queue and will say, nahi to kaam nahi hoga sir, kya kar sakta hai? So they have got a good understanding that it's all okay. They have to do like that only, then only they'll be able to manage what is to be done. So that viparitam. They don't have a consideration of other people. They don't know, they don't even know that what they are doing is a mistake. They don't know anything. So that kind of behavior, that kind of intellect which has been cultivated in those kinds of people is a tamasic buddhi, tamasic intellect. So Bhagavan says that these people do not know what is dharma and adharma. Sattvic person is very clear what is pravritti, what is nivritti, what is bandham, what is moksham, what is karyam, what is akaryam. Everything is very, very clear. That very clear distinction, discriminative mind he has got. So he knows that this is what be done, this should not be done. absolutely clear. He has got understanding of the scriptures very, very clearly, and also understood from the elderly people and wise people how to live a life, and is able to follow that. The second category is halfway through. You would have seen his parents doing something, you would have learned something here and there. So halfway through here and halfway through there. That is the second person. This person has got absolutely no understanding. So we feel that whatever he does is right. At the end of the day, because he has got no understanding of what is right and what is wrong, he has got a conviction that whatever he's doing is right. Okay, so that is the viparitamcha buddhihi tamasic buddhi. That is what is the other person. So now the important thing is that buddhi is extremely important, and cultivating a sattvic buddhi is extremely important in terms of spiritual journey, because only when you have a kind of clean mind, antakarana chutti, with the right kind of jnanam and the right kind of buddhi, that is the one that is going to help you in terms of moksha. So right kind of buddhi is there. Now with buddhi alone, can you do it? No, I need to decide. My goal now is I have to realize myself in this life itself, or I'll do everything possible and I'll do everything that is going to help me in terms of moksha. So you are going to have a determination for that. Only when you have determination, you come to the class. Every day you come to the class at 2:15. There is a dhriti for you. I got a determination that I need to go to the class. I need to understand this dhriti. I need to do Shravana Mano Nidhyasana. That is determination. So that is also important in terms of spiritual progress. So Bhagavan says that dhriti is also important like buddhi, and he's going to talk about the three types of dhriti in the next three slokas. Okay, next. Yes.
Sri Lakshmi Bagini.
Dhrutya yaya dharayate.
धृत्या यया धारयते धृत्या यया धारयते
मनः प्राणेन्द्रिय क्रियाः
मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रिय क्रियाः
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bagini.
योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या
योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या
धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. Next.
Lalita Bagini.
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रिय क्रियाः योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. Next.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
धृत्या यया धारयते मनःप्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bagini.
धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी.
Good. So you remember this word Abhyabhicharene? We have learned that in the 12th chapter. Abhyabhicharene Bhakti. That's what we said. We have got one sloka where we talked about Abhyabhicharena Bhakti. That means that Bhakti should be absolutely unflinching, unswerving Bhakti. That is what we are talking 12th chapter by using that adjective Abhyabhicharena Bhakti. Now, the same word Abhyabhicharana is used as an adjective for Dhritihi. That means that one should have a resolution, a determination, okay, the resolve that will not be easily swayed away. That is called Abhyabhicharana Dhritihi. That Abhyabhicharana Dhritihi is that I have got a resolve that I have understood what is Karma Yoga, I understood what is Jnana Yoga, I have got a knowledge to some extent. I want to now do this without any other distractions. I will not get deviated away. If somebody is going to have that kind of resolve, Abhyabhicharinya Dhritihi, those kinds of people have got a Sattvika Dhritihi. That determination, resolve is Sattvic Dhritihi. That is, what is the kind of Dhritihi for them? Dhritihi for them, the resolve for them is to utilize all these things and have the opportunity or get themselves to realize themselves in this life itself. So that is Sattvic Dhritihi. So then what is that? Dhrityayaya Dharyate, by which, the determination by which they sustain. What do they sustain? Which is the one that is going to make you all to drift away from your resolution? It is Mana, Prana, Indriya. Your body, mind complex, that is the one that is going to make you drift away. So this particular person has got a determination that this is what I need to achieve, and these are the people who can go away, like the horses can run away. So I need to ensure that the rein is going to be in my hand to ensure that the horses cannot run away. When they go out, I'll once again bring them back. So Dritya Yaya Dharyate Mana Pranendriya Kriya, absolute control over body mind complex with a determination that my requirement of these implements that I have, the karanam of buddhi, jnanam, all these things that I had, the mano, buddhi, all these mano, buddhi, ahankara, indriya, all these things that I have got as a tool for me are all only with the resolve used for learning myself, used for realizing myself. So that determination is called as Sattvic determination. So the person has got to ensure that he is going to, whenever the deviation, he'll just bring it back into the thing. So Dhityayaya Dharayate, he feels that the determination is the one that is going to sustain. That will sustain what? It is also sustain Mana Prana Indriya Kriyaha, whatever is being done by all these things, Manas, Prana, Indriya, sense organs and organs of action and Manas, all these things, whatever is going to be done, Kriyaha, all those things will be properly coming under the resolve that I have taken. And if they deviate away, I'll bring them back into that, so that I sustain with determination my Mana, Prana, Indriya, Kriya. I sustain what is being done with all these faculty of body mind complex. And that kind of person is supposed to be a Sattvic person. So now if that is going to be the case, then what will be a Rajasic person? A Rajasic person are also supposed to be determined people. If you look at that way, many of the business magnates that we have today, they also have got very good dhriti, right? They have got a dhriti. Dhriti means determination. Determination that I need to grow this business. I need to do that. I need to do that. So if you don't have such kinds of people, we cannot grow. So Rajasic people are also having determination in terms of this, commitment in terms of this, and they work towards such kinds of things. Okay, for achieving what they have taken as a resolution in a rightful manner. I'm not talking anything wrongful. For example, we have to respect people like Tatas and Ambanis and Narayan Murthy's, etc. They had a resolve. They had put in so much of effort and building up these kinds of economies and then providing opportunity for employment for so many people. So that resolve is also important. That is the Rajasic kind of resolve. That is also very, very important. But the Rajasic resolve is going to be primarily in terms of materialistic kind of thing. I'm not telling that they are not doing any kind of charity kind of thing. They may be doing that also, but predominantly their focus will be in terms of how do I grow the wealth of my organization? How do I ensure that I am going to be a respectable person in the industry? So that is a different kind of a thing, which is also important. So don't count me wrong. That is also very important, but their resolve is also there. The resolve is also extremely important. And so that is also another good resolve, which is going to have certain kinds of very good traits that they are going to have. And those people can also, if they want, they can change over into Sattvic kind of a trait once they feel that okay, enough is enough. I've done enough amount of things for the society. I've done enough amount of these things. Let me now start focusing myself in terms of what is that I can do for me. I earned enough for my family. I earned enough for my this thing. My business has been fantastic growing. I got all appointed managing directors for all the kinds of companies that I have. Now I'm fine. I got all my responsibility, social responsibilities are over. I can take a thing, I'll get into this one, I'll start investing time on improving my own self. Then he can easily transform himself into a Sattvic kind of people because he has got nothing else to worry about. Okay. So that is also Dhriti only. So don't mistake that. That Dhriti is not important. That's also important. But what is that Dhriti? Yaya, can you call someone?
Mrinalini Gopalan Bagini.
Yaya to dharma kamatan.
Okay, she's left type. Sai Lakshmi Bagini.
Yes. Yaya tu dharma kamardhan. Yaya tu dharma kamardhan.
Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna.
Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna. Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna.
Yaya tu dharma kamarthan. Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna.
Yaya tu dharma kamardhan. Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna. Yaya tu dharma kamardhan. Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bagini.
Prasangena phalakangshi.
Prasangena phalakangshi. Prasangena phalakangshi.
Rudissa partha rajasi.
Dhritissa partha rajasi. Dhritissa partha rajasi.
Prasangena phalakangshi. Drutissa partha rajasi.
Prasangena phalakangshi. Dhritissa partha rajasi. Prasangena phalakangshi. Dhritissa partha rajasi.
Good. Next.
Sharada Rajan Bagini.
Yaya tu dharma kamarthan. Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna. Prasangena phalakangshi. Drutissa partha rajasi.
Yaya tu dharma kamarthan. Dhrutyadharayate Arjuna. Prasangena phalakangshi. Dhrutissa partha rajasi.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Srishankar Bagini.
Yaya tu dharma kamatha dhrityadharayate Arjuna prasangena phalakangshi dhritissa partha rajasi.
Good. So when you look at when you see the earlier shloka, the resolve that the person had, Sattvic person's resolve, was primarily for moksha kangshibihi. He wanted to have liberation. Okay. So he is primarily determined in terms of moksha, and that was a Sattvic resolution that I want to liberate myself. Whereas a Rajasic person, out of these four Purusharthas, Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha, Moksha is for Sattvic, Dharma, Artha, Kama is going to be for Rajasic person. So this person, Dharmartha, Kama, Nritya, his resolve is primarily centered around getting something out of Dharmam, Artham, Kamam. He will be working for Kama. He'll be desires will be the one which is going to make him impelled to do things. One. And then Artha, insecurities are something that is going to make him to continue to start doing a lot of things and then taking care of his future. And then in the process, he does some amount of Dharmam. He gets a Punyam. The Dharma has, when you get a Punyam, Punya can give you two different types of benefits which we talked about 2 days back. One benefit will be, it will help you in terms of your materialistic growth, materialistic thing. Bhagavan is going to give you kind of benefits. The other punyam will be that in terms of chitta chutti also. So what is the one that is going to look forward the punyam is something that we need to look at it from individual perspective, because any kind of dharma karya will give a punya. The punya can give you this one good returns in terms of wealth also. It can also provide you with antakarana chuti. So only thing is a karma yogi, when he gets such kind of returns in his life, he takes it as the prasada buddhi. Okay, that is the karma yoga. He said that I did it as Ishvara Arpanam. I got it as a prasada. Prasada buddhi will be there whenever he is getting a dharma, punya based on dharma. Other person may think, okay, take, I done it very well. I got this. I done a fantastic sale this year. I got a fantastic bonus also. That is the way the other person may start looking at it. But however, these guys are primarily looking at dharma, kama, artha. The results are primarily centered around these kinds of things. And palakamshi, they are driven by results. They want to enjoy the results, fruits of action. Prasangena, they are deeply attached to that. So drutihi, that kind of resolve if a person is having is supposed to be called a rajasic kind of a resolve. So rajasic kind of resolve people, they are going to be working on a dharma, artha, kama, whereas sattvic kind of a drutihi will be primarily for moksha, liberation. And these kinds of people also, they will be, good people. And sometimes you may feel that, these guys are all extremely good and they are not, very greedy, etc. So you'll find them sometimes very calm and, very nice demeanor they'll have. But they'll all be like eagles and vultures. They'll be flying above, and you feel that, they're all fine. They're all just looking calm and enjoying the beautiful height and breeze, etc. But their eyes are always down on the ground to look at a prey. Once they get an opportunity, once they get a prey, the vulture just dives in to take the prey. So these guys also sometimes they may look extremely calm and sweet, etc. But their eyes are always going to be looking at opportunities. When opportunity comes, they will not hesitate to just dive down and grab the opportunities, because that is the kind of tendency these people have. That's the kind of resolve that is going to drive them, and that kind of resolve is called as a rajasic kind of a resolve. Okay, I think we'll quickly take one more sloka. That's very simple only. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Yaya, yeah, sorry. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam.
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं
Vishadam madameva cha.
विषादं मदमेव च विषादं मदमेव च
Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam. Vishadam madameva cha.
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च.
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Na vimunchati durmedaha.
न विमुञ्चति न विमुच्यति दुर्मेधाः न विमुच्यति दुर्मेधाः
Munjati, not bujjati. Na vimunjati.
विमुञ्चति न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः
Dhruti sa partha tamasi.
धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी
Na vimunchati durmedaha. Dhruti sa partha tamasi.
न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी.
Good. Next.
Vijaya Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam. Vishadam madameva cha. Na vimunchati durmedaha. Dhruti sa partha tamasi.
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी.
Good. Next.
श्रीमती भगिनी.
Full shloka.
यया स्वप्नं full श्लोका सर.
Full shloka, yes.
यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी.
So we'll quickly go to the reading of the shloka. So these guys, okay, see, they got resolve. What they can resolve, these guys, tamasic guys are going to have. These guys will not give up. What they will not give up, resolve is that I will not give up. That is the kind of resolve they have, determination they have. What is I will not give up? I will not give up my sleep. I'll keep sleeping as much as I want. Okay. And then madam. Madam is I'll keep indulging in all kinds of things. Whatever is favoring me, I want to just get indulgent. And those kinds of things will also be leading them to some kind of fear. They will not be able to get rid of fear. They will not be able to get rid of sorrow, shokam. They will not also be able to get rid of vishadam, that is depressions, because they don't take any action. Say Arjuna had a vishadam, he went to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna helped him to come out of the vishadam. But these guys, they don't do anything. So they are not giving up all these things. So that becomes the resolve. I won't give up my sleep. I won't give up my fear, because he does not take any action to understand the fear and work for that. He is not able to come out of his shokam. He is not able to come out as vishadam, and he is indulging in a lot of things. So Durmeda means understanding, intelligence. He has got a poor, wrong understanding. So these kinds of people, these kinds of wrong resolve these people have is all a kind of a tamasic dhritihi, tamasic resolve. One of the best examples is that there are, in the villages and all, no, we'll find that they'll be having a lot of acres of land. And then the father would have got some 15, 20 acres of land. Grandfather's time, they would have come, and these guys would have 20, 25 acres of land. They'll be having all the kinds of produce coming in. They'll have all kinds of comfort in their life, because that is the way they have been brought up. And they may go to study, and they may not perhaps be so bothered because they are filthily rich. So then what happens at the age of around 15, 16 years old, the fellow will leave the studies, etc., just happily sit at the home, then get up at his own time, then play cards with his friends, and then have always pan parag, and then evening and all go into some indulgence. So that is the kind of life they think is the right kind of life. So they will understand nothing. So it is a typical spoiled brats that we have, because they are filthily rich, etc. They all come under this kind of category, because they neither want to understand something and become a rajasic person and go to some kind of a job, get to some opportunities they grab, and then work in a company and then come up in life. They don't want to do that. They just want to enjoy their life with all kinds of wrong practices. We got a lot of people, because you'll be able to relate to a lot of such kinds of characters that we have in this world. So their resolve, that I will only play cards, eat pan parag. They cannot even leave pan parag. And then evening means that's the kind of thing that they have. So that is a kind of a tamasic resolve. Okay, dhritihi. So Bhagavan says that you have to be very conscious of what kind of dhritihi is there. How do you start ensuring that with your prana, mana, indriyam? How are you going to control them and then bring everything into proper control, so that you'll be able to move from rajasic to sattvic, which is only going to help you in terms of the buddhi. With the knowledge that you gain, you'll be able to start getting realization. So he has now given the distinction of the three different types of results also, along with the three types of intellect. Okay, we'll close with this today. Pravrittincha nivrittincha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham mokshancha ya veti buddhi saphatha satviki yaya dharma madharmancha karyancha karyamevacha ayatavat prajanati buddhi saphatha rajasi adharman dharmamitiya manyate tamasa vruta sarvarthan viparitanshcha buddhi sapata tamasi dritya yayadharayate manah pranendriya kriyaha yogena vyabhicharinya dhruti sapata satvike yayatu dharma kamartan dritya dharayate arjuna prasangena palakankshi dhruti sapata rajasi यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधाः दुदिस्सा पार्थ तामसी। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।